Hey guys, hi, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day today. As always, if you're new here or returning and you haven't yet already, be sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a big thumbs up if you like the video, and leave any comments, questions, or concerns down in the comment section. I will likely see you there. So today I'm kind of going to be doing a rendition of a video that I've done before, where I talk about some of my experiences from my childhood and how it's affected me as an adult. Have that conversation with you guys while I'm actually getting ready for the day. So this is going to be more in relation to like some of the boundaries and struggles that I have with making friends or maintaining friends, and how I kind of work around some of the things that I subconsciously had put in place and how I continue to work on those. So if that interests you, continue to watch. If you need some background information or get some grasp of what I experienced, I do have some playlists on my channel talking about my experience through foster care and adoption. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I am not going to be talking about the makeup products in this particular video. So most of you know, as I mentioned at the beginning of this, I have some playlists kind of going through my childhood and what it was like for me growing up in foster care. So I'm not going to be going into any real depth about that. I'm more or less going to be talking about how it seems to be something I struggle with as far as like maintaining or putting in place boundaries. So I have always put in place rather harsh boundaries that I don't really tell other people about. It's common for people to maybe have trust concerns where if you've ever been in a poor relationship where trust was an issue, you kind of find yourself moving forward, having a hard time trusting anybody who you may be interested in intimately or anything like that. So some of my issues are like that. Like some of them are, just basic trust concerns, like worrying if the person has, I guess the best way to say it is like wondering if they genuinely care about my friendship, or are they just doing it to save face? Are they just doing it to maybe be friends with people I'm friends with? Things like that. That's kind of where my mind goes when it comes to like starting new friends. A lot of that I feel is because when I was in foster care, I moved around a lot. It was very seldom, especially when I was younger, to be in one solid household. I was often, displaced and placed in different homes throughout my long experience in state care. So that has resulted in me having trust issues with new people. It's not that I'm going to meet you and then just shun you, so to speak, but in the back of my mind, I'm questioning, does this person have good intentions? Is this person going to maintain a friendship with me? Is this person only, trying to get close to me because they want to get close to one of my other friends? Although some of them are like way off the wall and like, of course, probably nothing to do with it, they're questions and things and scenarios that I go through in my mind whenever I meet new people, and it seems that they are kind of pushing for a friendship. It's never that, I never think of it in a positive way, like, oh, maybe I have something valuable to give people. Maybe, they see the way I treat my other friends and they want to be treated that way. It's never anything like that. I always jump to the negative side of things. That, I'm very much a pessimist when it comes to relationships and friendships. I have gotten better over the years, but it took me a while to realize that. And because I wasn't really being honest with myself and how I was dealing with new friendships and people approaching me, I was not nice to people. I wasn't overtly mean to them, but I intentionally gave off a persona of don't talk to me. I was always very stone-faced. If you greeted me, of course, I would reciprocate and, greet you back and be friendly. But I would not go out of my way or even attempt to build new friendships. I always cherished the ones that I had. And, at certain points of my life, there were friendships I had I never thought I wouldn't have. And vice versa. There were people that I had met that I never thought I would get along with or be friends with. And then, ultimately, we ended up getting along and they were my friend. Same goes the other way. There were some really good friends I had growing up and, in my younger adult life that I never thought wouldn't be a part of my life, who, due to whatever reason, typically nothing even happens. We just grow apart. And, that's another area of concern, which I have talked about in other videos of mine, is I have never maintained a long-term friendship. Like, I've had friends for years on end, but once high school ended and there wasn't that constant contact or, seeing each other, after a little bit of time, we just drifted apart. And then, we had seen each other. Some of those friends I have ran into, and, it's like no time has passed, but the effort wasn't put in on either side. And when I left Florida, I thought that would happen again. I thought, here I am starting all over. I have managed to force myself and notice this flaw within myself to be able to let people go so easily, to not be that way, because I genuinely care about these people. And although past friendships I've had, I look back on and I am sad that I'm not friends with some of those people because our friendships were so good. And, it's almost embarrassing at this point for me to maybe try and reach out to these people and say, hey, I know we lost touch, but I miss you. I have done it before. It's not something I'm afraid of, but it's awkward. And it's making myself be vulnerable to people. So when I moved from Florida to a new area, I made sure that I was going to try and keep in touch with the friends I had made and had cherished. And I am happy to say that I am still in contact with some of those people. Some, haven't reciprocated it, but I know what they do. And, they're busy. They have kids, most of them. And they have lives. Like, I know that's a lot of why people end up growing apart in the long run, is just because we all are living our own lives. And I'm okay with that. But the focus of this video particularly was, when you are someone who's experienced any kind of trauma, whether it's childhood trauma or adulthood trauma, no matter whether you are seeking help, have sought help, you are recovered, there's always some way that it ends up affecting how you perceive people and how you perceive the world. And it took me a while to be able to perceive it from myself that I was not intentionally being mean to people or, coming off cold, but I was. And now I'm aware that I do that, and I have the conversation with people. It's nothing against you. Once I get to know you, this, coldness that comes off won't be there anymore. It's just getting through this initial phase. I have that conversation with coworkers. I have that conversation with, friends that I meet, or, people that we meet out in public who, indicate to my husband particularly. He unfortunately has that where people will say, oh, does your wife not like me? And it hurts me that I still am struggling with that, because I have been trying for so hard for so long to try and make that not a part of who people first see. It's something I'm still working on, and it's a barrier that I have put up to prevent myself from future hurt, to prevent myself from, getting into that friendship that maybe they do something wrong to me, or they, maybe something bad happens and it's a ripple effect. As people, we all put up some kind of boundaries, and some of them don't. Some of them are for our better interest and some aren't. There are certain things that I think I myself have put in place that aren't necessarily all bad, but it could come off that way. Not being fully trustworthy of other people can come off as, you're just not willing to accept somebody, maybe, when in reality it's you accept them and you have no problem being around them, but you also aren't going to trust absolutely everything they say the first time they say it, because they haven't proven themselves enough, or they haven't given you enough time to really be able to say for 100% that you wholeheartedly trust them. And trust is a very sticky subject in and of itself, because almost everybody, I would say, struggles with trust to some degree. Exactly like I said, to some degree. I don't know what everybody else's experiences with that, but I know all of my friends I've talked to throughout my life, my family, etc., to some degree, they all have some kind of trust concern when it comes to whether it be strangers or a particular friend. Maybe you found out they said something you didn't want them to say to somebody else. Like, that's going to cause distrust. So then you're going to have, concerns moving forward. If your really good friend can, go off and tell somebody something you specifically asked them not to, that's going to hinder your trust, right? At the end of the day, we all have things that we are working on within ourselves. And I just hope that everybody kind of is able to take a step back. If it's somebody that you've just met and maybe something came off weird, always maybe give them a second chance. I'm always inclined to give people a second chance, because I know if some people hadn't given me a second chance from the first time they met me, I wouldn't have some of the really good friends that I have had throughout my life. You never know what somebody's experiencing or what they have experienced for them to portray themselves a certain way. So, with that being said, I know I haven't totally finished my makeup, but I am going to end the video here. I hope all the points I was trying to get across made it out. If you have any questions or I left any area gray, please let me know in the comment section, and I will do my best to get back in touch with you and respond and clarify anything I can clarify. So I hope you guys are all having a good day, evening, or night, wherever you are, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.